Hello, ISPA family, and welcome to another installment of our Pulse Partners interview series, where we catch up with representatives from the companies ISPA has partnered with in 2021 as we bring Pulse back to print and continue to provide that industry-leading publication to our members. I'm ISPA board chairman. I'm your board chairman, Patrick Huey, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by Frederic Fonte, Chief Operating Officer of Sothys. Sothys is a longtime ISPA member and an ardent supporter of Pulse, so we are beyond excited to shine a light on the many wonderful aspects of their brand today. Frederic, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to our conversation.
Thank you, Patrick, to welcome me and to invite me for this chat. I'm super excited to have this conversation with you because, I mean, for us, ISPA, it's a huge community leader. So I'm very thankful to be here today.
Well, we thank you for that. And, you know, Sothys also is what I would consider to be a legacy brand. It's one of the great brands of the industry. It's had a great run throughout the years. How did you end up in Miami from France?
Oh,
Charge of the business.
So now I'm the CEO of Sothys USA, but before this position, I used to work with Sothys in France, so in the center of France. I used to be a finance controller for the company. And my boss told me, oh, Fred, we need to go to Miami to do an audit. So you need to fix 4 days in your calendar. So I arrived for 4 days and I'm still here. It was 3 years ago.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's weird because I didn't speak English at all when I arrived, except hello, how are you? So I was kind of scared. And when my boss told me, oh, you need to stay longer, and I was like 1 week, 2 weeks, cool, I can go to the beach. So now I have time to go to the beach because it's already 3 years.
Well, I have to say your English is exceptional. So
oh, thank you.
You're doing great. You're doing So for those who may not be aware of Sothys, can you tell us a little bit about the brand and sort of some highlights about your brand?
Yeah, so Sothys, first of all, it's a man. It's Bernard Mas. Bernard Mas is the founder of this company. He's the more brilliant person I met in my life, not because he recruited me, but because he was a visionary. Since the beginning, he imagined and designed his brand and his company to work in an international mode, but on the meantime, he never forgot his roots. That means he helped all the time his community. The factory in France, in Sothys, was built in his family town, so in the center of France, where nobody was believing in the past. And all the time, all years after years, his goal was really to create values for his community. So he's an exceptional person. He's more a philosopher than a scientist. His passion are beauty, art, community, and all the time he creates something if he's thinking about everything about, I mean, he was talking about sustainability even before we think about it. Like, to give you an idea, with Sothys, we are very strict in the selection of our provider. We don't work with countries where women and kids are not respected. So we source all our raw material and packaging in France and in Europe. So Mr. Mas wants really to create an ecosystem about, about the human, around the nature, and taking care of everyone. Mr. Mas dedicates every year 2% of our total numbers for the nature, for animals and for flowers. He created a botanical garden. It's an exceptional garden. It's the fount of inspiration of most of the line of Sothys. So I hope you can go to France one day and you can visit this garden, because I mean, when you are talking about gardens, when I on board in Sothys and they told me, "Oh, we have a garden," I was like, "Yeah, a garden, whatever." But when you go there, it's not a garden; it's gardens, and I mean, you are visiting the gardens, and on the meantime, you lose all control. You don't have Wi-Fi, so you don't have internet. You are in another planet. It's amazing. And what I like with Mr. Mas, it's this vision to help communities and to really focus on where he is. Like in Miami, we have the chance to have a factory. So we produce the same products as we produce in France because we import raw materials and packaging. We are following the same process. So basically, it's the same product. The only difference is the label, so made in USA or made in France. But his idea was, we are doing business in USA, we need to give work to American people. So this vision was 40 years ago, because Sothys USA was created 40 years ago. So sometime like, who is this guy to have this vision? I mean, now we are all very careful about sustainability, nature, and everything. But think about it; it was 40 years ago, so it's amazing. I mean, this man and his son are continuing the same vision. But I'm very proud to be part of this company and part of this family.
I love that. I love that, Frederic. Now, I'm gonna have to go to Paris with you on the next trip you go there to see the garden.
Well, you will go to Paris, but you will go to center of France. So don't dream about the Eiffel Tower, because we will see the Eiffel Tower maybe 5 minutes after. Go back to the south.
I'm game. I'm always game for a trip. So when you're
okay,
just let me know. We're gonna go check out the garden. We'll check our iPhones at the door.
okay.
I'm ready.
And I mean, we can stay for a week in the garden because Mr. Mas created a restaurant also, recognized by the Guide Michelin. And we have also a guest house, so we can spend 1 week without Wi-Fi, without emails, just with nature and Sothys products, of course.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How did the line start as a skincare line or a body care line? What are the roots of the line?
The roots, so Sothys was created 75 years ago by a doctor, Dr. Halls. It was a small salon with a doctor with 3 people, and they create ampoules. And why they create ampoules? It was to repair the skin of the soldier of the Second War in France. So now our clients are not the army. I mean, maybe some soldiers are going to the spa to do some treatment. So we are more focused on wellness and anti-aging. But the DNA of the brand at the beginning was really to help soldiers to recover, and they create the ampoule.
That's fascinating, actually. You know, one thing that I really like about the line, and we were talking about this before we started taping this conversation, is that I love the mandarin orange scents you guys make.
Mm-hmm.
But saying to me, which I think is really fantastic, that every 6 months,
yes,
change out these scents, these aromas, to keep the line fresh for your guests, for your partners.
Yeah. So we have, I mean, for Sothys, so the line is pretty big, and we have these seasonal treatments. So the idea is really to give a new experience to the guest. The good thing about this treatment, it's easy to perform by the therapist because she's following the same therapist. But for the guest, it's a new experience. So if he's going to the spa only 2 times in the year, you say, oh, this treatment was totally different. In reality, he will receive the same treatment, but with a different fragrance. And the good thing about Sothys, and not just for the seasonal treatment, for all kind of treatment, we have a retail line with it. So if you like the treatment the seasonal treatment, you can buy retail product like a shower gel or body lotion or something like this. Like for example, for this winter, we did a treatment with acai berry and the maracuja, and it was a real success.
You know, you mentioned earlier that Sothys started to help treat the skin of the French soldiers in World War II, correct?
Yes, yeah.
The Second World War. And I know recently during the COVID pandemic, Sothys was very generous with our healthcare frontline.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? And all of your efforts, I think they're pretty spectacular.
I mean, what we did since the beginning, I mean, when COVID arrived, it was like a hurricane for us. I mean, we are in Miami, so we are used to receive hurricanes. But this one, I was like, what we will do tomorrow? Because I was in New York when everything started. And one of my coworkers told me, Fred, COVID is arriving in USA. The city will be shut down for at least 3 months. I was like, she's stupid. She's so negative. How a country like USA can be stopped by 3 months? So I came to Miami and I started looking at news and everything. And I was like, oh my God, she's right. The situation is getting worse. So since the beginning with Sothys, we decide to help people, and not just people working in hospital, but also people on the street, on shelters, because in this kind of situation, in this kind of crisis, sometimes we don't think about this population. So we give them tons of shampoo, I mean, basic product of hygiene. We have the chance to have a factory here in Miami, so we start producing hand sanitizer. It was a challenge because the alcohol was like gold at this moment. It was impossible to find alcohol available in good delays, so we did all the best to have it ready. And I asked all sales representatives across the US to contact associations, hospitals, shelters, to give some product. And here locally in Miami, what we did, we help an association who is helping women in difficult situation. So we give them products, but we went also there, I mean, taking all the safety measures, but to help them in taking care of themselves, so doing tutorials and helping them in working in the self-love.
Mm. And what was the response like from those women? For those
one of them, I was there and she told me, oh my God, I didn't know I have to clean my face with product for me. It was only water. So I was like, okay, we have a lot to do. I mean, not only with the shelter, but in the community and in the world to learn how to take care of the skin. And it's also part of our training here in Sothys USA when we work with spa therapists, is to sensibilize the spa therapists in doing retail sales after, in giving an education to their guests, because the retail part, it's part for us of the 5-star experience. And most of the time you can have amazing therapists, but they are very focused on what they are doing in the treated room, and they don't allocate the time to give advice and to help people to continue the experience at home. And this is essential because you can do the best treatment ever. I mean, Sothys or another brand. But I mean, it's not Botox or filler if you don't take care of you, and if you don't continue this routine, you will not see the real result of your treatment. So it's very, I mean, treatment in spas are essential, and it's our DNA to work with therapists, but they really need to focus also on the home products.
You know, you really important, which I want to highlight and make sure people heard and understood, and that we have to educate people about the importance of proper skincare, not just from a vanity standpoint, but from a self-esteem standpoint. Your skin is the first thing people see. You know, and what a great confidence builder it can be for someone to
I mean, and if you don't love you, who else will love you?
Right. Right. So tell me what you were doing with your partners, for Sothys's partners during the pandemic. How have you been supporting them? Have you had great standout results from your partners during?
I mean, what we did with our partners, we start with the team. We didn't do any furlough. As you can imagine, the bottom line the first month was horrible. But our idea at Sothys was to keep the entire team. Why? Because they are here to give us success. So we need to be there when they need us and when we are in bad days. They are here in good days. We need to help them in bad days. And behind each person, it's a family. And behind each person, we have a brand ambassador who represents the brand, who is in communication with our family. I mean, our family, our partners. So it was essential and very important for us to keep this contact. So we call each customer, not in a pushy way. I mean, not, oh, do you need something? I mean, in terms of product, but more in a psychological and very friendly approach, more to show them we are here to help you. So what we did, because Sothys, remember we are only present in beauty salon and spas. So what we did, we put in place a drop ship program. So our customer didn't have to charge their inventory. They receive the order, they send the order, and we ship directly to the end customer. The idea was really to maintain the business because we saw some very difficult situation, and not only in small day spas, but also in huge resorts. I mean, the situation, it was a storm for everyone. So the idea was really to support everyone. So what we did also, and it was an amazing work of our training team, was to develop a lot of virtual training, because knowledge is power. So you need to do training all the time. So we did a lot of virtual. We create summit. So 2 days, we did one last week of 3 days, totally free, open to everyone, not only for Sothys clients. The idea is really to give knowledge and also to be present, because when you are a spa therapist or a spa manager and you are in your office and you're like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I need to survive. So, I mean, I can believe such, when I saw some people, the dynamics they did, I mean, a lot of resource. You pass from a spa therapist or a spa manager to a psychologist, nurse, teacher, wife, or husband, because sometimes the partner lost the job. I was like, how they can find this energy and this, I mean, I used to love the spa industry before, because if not, I will be not on this industry. But now I realize how humans are important and how they have resources and how they want to improve. And they're like, okay, we are not turtle, we need to move. So if you don't find something in a place, you need to change. So I was really impressed about our customer and about the industry, how they were able to change things and to create new things, a lot of new ideas. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, economically, it's very difficult, and still very difficult, because now it's also a challenge for some spas to rebuild their team. But this year, I mean, if we think about the human, was amazing to see how people are able to work. I mean, it was amazing, and I'm very thankful and proud to see this movement.
So Frederic, Sothys is 75 years old.
Yeah.
It's almost a century, 3/4 of a century.
Yes.
What do you guys do at Sothys to keep the brand alive and relevant and at the front of the conversation around spa?
It's the research. The research is everything. If you don't improve your formulas, if you are not aware of the market, you need to be more than trendy. You need to be in advance of the trend. So in Sothys, we have our own laboratory. We have 30 scientists working in developing formulas. The particularity of Sothys laboratory, we have in this laboratory 3 aestheticians. Why? Because when we create a product, to give you an idea, to develop a product in Sothys, we take between 2 years and 4 years. But when we develop a product, we do all the selection of raw materials, the ingredient, and blah, 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 blah. But we want also to develop the protocol. Why? Because we want to develop a protocol easy and for the therapist, and on the meantime, a protocol who will give result to the guest. So this, we are all the time, working. I mean, the research at Sothys, most of the brand, and sometimes it's like frustrating because some brands, they invest more in marketing and communication than in research. At Sothys, we invest much more in research and development than in marketing. So sometimes it's kind of frustrating when you see all efforts done behind, and you're like, why we don't speak about that? Why we don't speak about that? We develop clean formulas. I mean, we are not an organic brand, but we work with the green chemistry. We work a lot with the packaging. We are very careful on everything, from the raw material to the packaging and even to the POS. And sometimes we don't communicate it because for us, it's normal. We work like this forever. So why we should speak about that? Because it's our DNA. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, I can be proud. We know what we are doing and we are doing it well. Sometimes I'm like, but why we are not communicating more? So, oh yeah.
That can be your challenge for 2021.
Yes. Yeah.
No, but it's great, and I think when you talk about luxury lines, it's not always about pyrotechnics and waving flags and all of that. When you're talking real luxury, it is the DNA.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about, we are a lot of competitors in this industry. I don't like to use the term of competitors because there is a space for everyone. But when you are in the market for more than 40 years or 50 years, it's because you are doing something good. You are not just working with the trend, doing a product for 2 or 3 years. If you have European and American brands on the market for 50 years, it's because we are all working in a way that we can provide and offer a good product. And yes, as I told, we call everyone competitors, but I mean, there is space for everyone. And if all brands work together, we can be brilliant. And especially on this challenging time, we need to be smart and not to be only on a wear mode and say, okay, we can work. I mean, it's not only about attack, because if you want to be present in 50 years or in 75 years, you need to be smart and looking around and not just focus in a short term.
I mean, that's really fantastic advice. If there are any younger resource partners out there, younger companies who are going to be watching this, that, you know, you have to be smart.
Yeah.
You have to be smart.
You need to be smart, and you need to adapt. And one of the things of Sothys, and one of the things of my team, more than just Sothys, and I'm very proud of that, they adapt since the beginning. Like the training team, they adapt all protocols to can continue to do protocol, but in a safety mode. So the keywords are relation and adapt. You need to be agile.
I love that. I love that. Agile is the new smart.
Yeah.
Frederic, thank you so much for joining us today. This 30 minutes flew by. I could keep talking to you for hours. And thank you for sharing all that's happening at Sothys and the great things you guys have done over the past year. And of course, many thanks to you guys for your continued support of Pulse, which is back in print and which is also available digitally at experienceispa.com and in the Pulse app for iOS and Android. The March issue is out now, so be sure to check it out. It's a fabulous issue, some great articles in there. And to everyone watching, thank you for spending your time with us, and stay well and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Frederic.